Welcome to Whispering Tales. Tonight's story may feel closer to your own life than you expect. Imagine going through a spiritual awakening, only to lose all your motivation, your goals, your ambitions, even the things that once gave you joy. Why does this happen? And more importantly, what comes next? Stay with me, because what you'll discover in the next few minutes might completely change how you see yourself and your journey. You've just gone through a spiritual awakening. Your perception has changed. You see the world differently now. But with that shift comes an unexpected emptiness. The job that once gave you purpose feels meaningless. The goals that once excited you seem shallow. You ask yourself, what's happening to me? The answer lies in something I call the collapse of the reward system. Collapse of the reward system. Throughout your life, your brain was conditioned to chase small bursts of dopamine. A promotion, buying new clothes, likes on social media. Every time, your mind rewarded you with a little dose of pleasure. This became a hamster wheel, always chasing, never fulfilled. But after awakening, you see through the illusion. Achievements are temporary, material rewards are shallow, and external validation cannot bring lasting peace. The old dopamine-driven system shuts down. Suddenly, the things that once excited you feel empty, like toys to a grown child. You've outgrown them. The collapse of this system isn't laziness or depression. It's a transition. You are mourning the death of an old motivational structure while searching for something deeper. Death of the competitive ego. Another powerful shift is the death of the competitive ego. Before awakening, much of your drive came from proving something. To parents, colleagues, friends, even strangers. You were in a constant war, seeking victories to validate your worth. But awakening dissolves this illusion. You realize separation is false. Competing with others means competing with yourself. Status and recognition no longer matter. What once fueled you, comparison, rivalry, competition, loses all meaning. This is liberating, but also destabilizing. If there are no enemies to defeat and no one to impress, where does motivation come from? For the ego, this is death. For your soul, it's rebirth. The realization of illusion. As your consciousness expands, you begin to see through the veil of reality. Jobs, possessions, even relationships are temporary constructs. On the cosmic scale, everything appears fleeting, dreamlike. At first, this feels liberating. But then comes existential paralysis. If nothing really matters, why bother? You watch others chase deadlines, money, recognition, and it feels like watching characters in a movie who don't know they're in a story. You feel alienated, isolated, like the only one awake in a world of sleepwalkers. This stage is painful but necessary. It's the void between the collapse of old meaning and the creation of new meaning. The challenge is not in denying illusion but in learning how to dance with it, to find beauty and purpose even inside the dream. Consciousness overload. Another hidden reason for your lack of motivation is overload. Before awakening, filters protected your brain by blocking unnecessary information. You saw only what was needed to survive. But awakening lifts those filters. Suddenly you perceive emotional energy, karmic patterns, synchronistic connections. Every conversation, every environment, every choice comes with multiple layers of meaning. It's like moving from a dark room to a blindingly bright space. The light is beautiful, but overwhelming. Your brain is adapting, creating new pathways to handle this expanded awareness. That adaptation requires energy. Fatigue, confusion, and lack of focus are not failures. They are signs of recalibration. Disconnection from the social matrix. Before awakening, much of your motivation came from the social game. Your salary wasn't just income, it was proof of status. Your car, house, clothes all symbolized your worth. You lived in a system of external validation. But awakening shows you that the game is empty. Status, comparison, approval, all illusions. You no longer believe in the rules everyone else is playing by. This frees you, but also leaves you without the old motivational fuel. Suddenly, you don't know how to measure progress anymore. Social recognition no longer matters. Conversations that once flowed now feel shallow. You feel like a foreigner in your own culture. This disconnection is painful, but essential. Without it, you'd still be trapped in endless comparison. Now you are forced to discover internal validation, a compass that comes from within, not from society. Transformation of time. One more subtle shift. Your relationship with time. Before awakening, time felt urgent. Deadlines, milestones, age-based goals kept you running. This pressure created motivation. But after awakening, you taste timelessness. You experience moments where past and future dissolve into the present. The urgency fades. Without pressure, your old drive disappears. This seems like laziness, but it's not. It's wisdom. You are no longer controlled by the tyranny of the clock. Yet you must still live in a world bound by time. The challenge is finding balance, to act with purpose while rooted in presence. The sacred void. Here is the most important truth. Your lack of motivation is not a failure, it is a gift. You are in what mystics call the sacred void. It's the transitional state between who you were and who you're becoming. If you still had your old motivations, you'd cling to your old life. If you still chased status, money, or approval, you'd resist transformation. By removing the fuel of compulsive action, life forces you inward, so that something new and authentic can emerge. This isn't inactivity, it's gestation. A new self is being born. From compulsive to inspired action. In this void, external pressure no longer works. Deadlines, comparison, validation, all meaningless. Instead, you begin to notice small, subtle impulses. A sudden desire to learn something new, an urge to call someone, an inspiration to create, to share, to help. These are not ego-driven commands. They are soul whispers. At first, they feel fragile compared to your old ambitions. But they are seeds of a purer motivation. If you nurture them, they grow into something far stronger, action aligned with your true essence. This is the difference between compulsive action driven by fear, scarcity, or ego and inspired action driven by love, abundance, and inner truth. Reprogramming the subconscious. Why is this so hard? Because 95% of your daily behavior comes from the subconscious mind, programmed in childhood. Those programs taught you to believe that money is scarce, success must be earned through struggle, and worth comes from comparison. Awakening exposes these programs as illusions. But until you consciously reprogram them, they keep vibrating in the background. That's why old fears and doubts still arise. Through practices like meditation, visualization, and affirmations, you begin to rewrite those programs. You align your subconscious with your soul's truth. And once your subconscious broadcasts a new frequency, your reality shifts to match it. The test of faith. One thing few people realize. When you change your vibration, the universe tests you. Ask for prosperity, and you may face unexpected expenses. Ask for confidence, and you may encounter criticism. Ask for freedom, and old chains reappear. These are not punishments. They are tests of alignment. The universe is asking, do you really believe this new frequency, or will you collapse back into the old one? If you hold your ground, respond with trust instead of fear, the universe locks in your new vibration as your reality. The holographic universe. Quantum physics now echoes what mystics always taught. Reality is interconnected, holographic, and responsive to consciousness. Einstein called entanglement spooky action at a distance. Physicists like David Bohm suggested the universe itself is a vast hologram, where every part contains the whole. What does this mean for you? Your thoughts and emotions don't vanish into thin air. They ripple through the quantum field, shaping what you experience. Think scarcity, and you attract scarcity. Think abundance, and you resonate with opportunities. The universe is not outside of you. You are woven into it. The gift of eternal time. Awakening also transforms your sense of time. At first, the loss of urgency makes you feel unmotivated. But as your consciousness matures, you learn a new way of relating to time. Instead of compulsively racing, you begin to act with presence. Productivity no longer means doing more. It means doing what matters, with full awareness. This balance, of eternal time and linear time, of being and doing, becomes the foundation for sustainable motivation. Emerging into new motivation. Slowly, the sacred void gives way to a new phase. You begin to feel impulses that aren't about chasing validation but expressing essence. You may feel drawn to create something not for recognition but for joy. To help someone not for approval but for love. To pursue a path not because society says it's success but because your soul says it's true. This new motivation doesn't burn out. It doesn't depend on achievements or comparison. It flows from within, and because it aligns with your deeper nature, it feels limitless. Final truth. So if you feel empty, unmotivated, or lost after your awakening, know this: nothing is wrong with you. You are in the void between worlds. The collapse of the old system is proof that a new one is forming. Trust the process. Act not from fear, but from love. Follow the whispers of your soul, no matter how small. This is not the end of your journey. It's the beginning of a new one. One where your motivation flows not from scarcity or ego, but from the infinite abundance of who you truly are. So tell me, have you ever felt this emptiness after a moment of growth? That strange loss of motivation that makes you wonder who you really are? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your story might help someone else on this path. And if this journey resonated with you, make sure to subscribe to Whispering Tales. There are many more stories waiting to guide you through the mysteries of life, death, and everything in between. See you in the next tale.